Hey guys, welcome to the Whimsical Workshop. In this video, we are going to kick off our Let's Get Organized series with our first video about hand sewing on the go. So let's get started. Hey guys, once again, we have started going out in the world, taking classes, going on retreats, and just traveling in general. And after a very long time of not doing that, I realized that my travel bags for creating were a mess. They weren't very organized, and I didn't know where things were because I had been pulling things out of my travel bags throughout the past 2 years. So I thought it was a really good time to do a full reset on these bags. I wanted to share my process with you guys in hopes that maybe you would pick up some tips as well. So the first part of the series, we're going to go over my hand sewing bags. So for hand sewing on the go, I have two different bags that I use, and these are both Yazzii bags, and I will link below the type of bag and what it is. But if you want to know more about why I like Yazzii bags, I will link a video below that I did that explains all the different bags I own and how I use them and why I use these bags. So let's get started with the bag tours. So you may be wondering, well, why do you have two little bags? Some of you guys may have 10 bags. I don't judge. But yes, I took notes. I'm trying to be more organized. That's the whole point. So when you're thinking about going somewhere, I don't know about you, I do not sit still well. My husband always asks, do you have something to do in the car if we're going on a long car trip? Even on a plane, I do not sit still well. I always am doing something. If you fit that box, these videos are for you. But sometimes I'm in the mood to hand sew on a trip. Sometimes I'm in the mood to draw on a trip. Sometimes I'm in a mood just to read on a trip. So when the trip is coming up, I think about, well, how do I feel? What do I want to do? Because I always have my bags ready to go, I don't have to really do a lot of planning. I just need to know which bags to take. And I'm going to go over my other bags in other videos, so make sure you like and subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll be notified when I do a video. All that does is tells YouTube you want to watch the video, and it doesn't cost anything. So if I go on a trip and I'm like, okay, I feel like hand sewing this time, am I going to go for a very long time, or am I going to go for just like a weekend? How much space do I have? Am I getting on a plane where I don't have a lot of space in my luggage because I have to take things like clothes, stuff we really need? Or are we doing a car trip where I can throw as much of the stuff in there as I want? So I think about those two things. The third thing I think about is, where am I going to be able to create? Am I going to be sewing on a plane, sewing in a car? Am I going to be sitting in a park? Am I going to be somewhere where I have a table and I can spread out? Those are the things you want to ask yourself before you pack a craft for the road. No matter what craft it is, those are the same questions. But if I'm going to go on a really quick, short weekend trip or an overnight, and I know I'm going to have some downtime and I know I'm going to want to sew, I first grab this bag. This is the little, I have to look up the names. This is the Petite Organizer from Yazzii. It is a 5x7 by 3 inch bag. Comes in lots of different colors. I happen to have the fuchsia color here. It is perfect to slide in my backpack. It's perfect to put in a tote bag. If I have to put this in my suitcase, it doesn't take up a lot of room. And what I have in here is one project and everything I could possibly need to hand sew. Because I don't know about you, but I end up visiting a quilt shop on the road, and then I buy a project while I'm on the road, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have needles, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Well, if I have this little bag with me, even if I'm not using it for this project, I have what I need to start another hand sewing project. Because, we're all about starting projects. So let's go in here and take a tour of what we've got in the bag. This little guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zipper pouches, and they're all the same size. And what I have in here, we're going to start here at the back because, well, it's easier than the front. I have my thread magic, which I use this to wax my threads. It's silicone right there. It's a silicone base. It just keeps your threads nice and coated so they glide through your projects a lot easier and they don't knot up a lot. And I use this for anytime I'm hand sewing, so I have a lot of these in all my different bags. And then I have the project that goes with this bag, which is my sneak peek here. It is a English paper pieced pillow design I've been working on. And that's what it will look like when it's all done. I have been hand sewing this for a very long time, but I have all of my pieces, my plan, and my blocks. All of that gets tucked in back here. Okay, and then there is this little zipper pouch back here that I can store something in. Currently there is nothing in there. It's just an empty pocket for me. I could put tickets in there or something important that I don't want to lose or fall out. Where this is just sort of, so I could put, see, I could put all my finished blocks inside here and just have the block I'm working on. So let's those are not going to get dirty. They're not going to fall out. And they're back there safe and sound. And then I have all of the pieces to keep sewing, so those all go in here along with my block I am sewing on. And don't ask me why I am so close to finishing this and I haven't. It's just one little piece. I'll get around to it. So that is in the first pocket. In the next pocket, I have all of my marking utensils. Whether I need them for this project or not, I have the same utensils in all of my bags for sewing. I have a Sharpie marker, which is great if you have to trace some applique or mark something with a permanent marker. I have 2 Frixion pens that will iron out of the fabric, and I have a Bowen chalk pencil. All of these notions are available on our website. I'll link that below, but you can find them in lots of different places. The other thing I have in here are refill leads for the chalk pencil. I have white, yellow, and graphite, as well as a refill eraser for the end of the pencil, so that I don't have to think about it. If I run out of a lead, I have leads, because that's the type of thing you run out of on a trip. And it's so small, there's no reason not to have it if you have the space. So all of my marking utensils are in the first pouch. The second pouch is all of my adhesives. If you do any kind of English paper piecing, you're going to want to be using a Bowen glue pencil. It's a very nice, it has a 1/4-inch head on the top of it there. It is my go-to glue pen for English paper piecing or paper piecing, where you're going to have to pull the pieces out. That's why I have those. And then I have a glue stick, because you can use this for so many, see here, get it to, there we go. I have a Elmer's glue stick because you can use this for so many things. You can use it to glue in a zipper. I use it to glue curves or really challenging pieces together. I glue them with the glue stick first, and then I hand sew or machine sew the pieces, because once they're glued together, you don't have to worry about pins and clips and everything. It's very easy. So those are my adhesives, and I keep all of those together. In this pocket, I have my Fab 4 threads. I use these for these 4 colors pretty much for most of my piecing, whether it's hand or machine. We have a black, a gray, a dark cream, and a white. These 4 colors will blend into most fabrics. One of them will. So I usually just keep these all handy. If I have a matching thread to a project, which you'll see in my other bag, I keep it with the project, but I have these in case, again, I find a project on the road and just want to jump in and start. I have threads I can start. And then in this front pouch, when you first open the bag, I have all of my sewing notions. So what do I got? I've got a little seam, I have a little seam fix seam ripper. I love these seam rippers. We carry the taller, bigger ones. I don't have these little guys, but this end, you can just erase the threads away. So say you rip out your seam and you got all those little funky hairs, you just take this end and rub it and they all kind of ball up. It's very sharp, and it's really small, so it fits in my bag. I have my chenille needles, just in case I decide to get a wool project on the road. I have the right size needles. I have a purple thing because this thing comes in handy to poke out corners, to check your 1/4 inch if you're machine sewing. Right there, that's a 1/4 inch at the end. It's a stiletto to help you, hold things down. I just find this handy to have. And I use it sometimes not even for sewing, we just happen to need it for something else. I have my Hummingbird, I have my Hummingbird threader. You use the beak there to thread it. I do have a video on this on our channel. I will link that below for you. My favorite threader in the world. I have a leather thimble, and then I have the coolest, oops, wait, hold on, let's do it the right way. Unicorn scissors that I bought. I was teaching how to cruise in there we go. was teaching on a cruise, and this was in the sewing shop on the cruise, and I'm like, oh, these are cute. I have to have them. And then last but not least is a lipstick case here, and I put some washi tape to decorate it, but it's coming off, so that may not work. And this has all of my hand sewing needles in it. And I have various ones. There is a chenille needle, and there's a little heavier needle, and then I have all my John James really nice Milner needles in there, and it's all in this nice little lipstick case. I love these. I found someone gave me one, and then I ran out and bought them, and we occasionally have it on our website for sale as well. So all of these are your, you need them every single time you hand sew, so I put them on the top pocket because I thought that made the most sense, because that's what I'm going to be grabbing all the time. And then finally, in the last pocket here, we have, whole little bag of Wonder Clips, because you can never have too many of these. They're really handy to help hold things, and every good business person should have their business cards. Every good business person should have business cards in all of their bags. So if you're on a plane and someone asks for your card, you have it. You may or may not have those in your little sewing bag. So this is my one project and done, but you can see it has everything I need. If I need to start sewing on something different, I have all of those tools in here. If you think I'm missing something in my one single project bag, leave me a comment below, because I can never be too prepared. All right, so that is the project I would grab for a weekend. So say we're gonna go to a cabin for a week and a half, and I want to, I'm not gonna have a machine, but I get bored after sewing one project. More than likely, I'd probably take this with me as well, or I'd pull this project out and put it in here. But this guy has the two compartments, and the top compartment, I have all of my supplies. So up in the top, I have the same marking tools that was in here. I also have a mechanical pencil and a regular pen and a Post-it notepad in case I wanted to take notes or write something down. I have that, as well as the other pens that were in this bag. I have my magic thread, my thread magic, and my binder clips here up on the top pocket, as well as this top pocket has the same sewing things as this one. It has the thimble, the needles, the needle case, the scissors, and this time I have two Hummingbird threaders in case I have a friend with me, or if one of them gets lost or broken. If you're going to be gone that long for sewing and you really count on a tool, I really count on this to thread my needles. I want to have a spare, and it's small enough I can throw it in there. So the next round of pockets I have, these are grip strips. I use them to mark rulers sometimes when I have to cut something. And these are so tight magnets. You use them to hold layers together, or you can use them to hold your binding down. I haven't really figured out what I use them for, but I do tend to pull them out for hand sewing, so I threw them in here just in case I need them, as well as my glue sticks. I have two, because again, if you're gone a longer time, you want to make sure you have enough glue, as well as I have the bow and pen with 3 refills, just so that one of the examples would be I teach on cruises. This would be a bag to take on my cruise. They may not have these things on the cruise, so I want to make sure I have enough to at least last the week. Then we've got the next round. We've got my business cards again, and I have some stickers here so that I can hand them out, because a lot of times I am taking this on a teaching thing. And then over here I have a little tiny, I took an applique pressing sheet and I cut it and made a smaller one in case I need to use fusible applique for any reason, or I need a pressing cloth. I have one in here, and it's just a handy little thing to have. Then we get to the refills for the pencils with the erasers, my tape measure, and then I have a compartment there that if I wanted to pull this project out, I could put it in here and take it and have all of my projects together. So that's the top compartment. And then the middle compartment has, I'm working on this little wool project that I bought years and years and years ago from Chloe and me. It's a sweet little bunny runner. I've been working on it probably since I bought it. That's how slow I am with hand sewing, but I have all of my extra eggs. I have, the backing in case, I got finished on the road. And then I even have a little red work project back in here that's something else I could do on the road. So these are the pieces and parts and pattern for the runner, or I guess it's a candle mat, is what you call it. So those will shove back in there, and you can see like the zipper compartments come up and over, so you don't lose that space. It's really quite nice. And it's really good these are durable because I overpack a lot. So then the next one is actually how far I've gotten on this thing, which is there. I have my needle there. I have all of my pearl cottons over here. That's why there is usually a bracelet bar in there that's a plush little bracelet bar. You could use as a pin cushion, but I pulled that out and I have my pearl cotton threads for this, as well as some spools of thread. Maybe when I'm done with this, I'll put that back in here, but probably I'll just use that for thread storage. And I'll use the pin cushion for something else. So that is my one project in here. And then if I get tired of doing blanket stitching, I have another English paper pieced project in here, and the pieces are all, not all of them, like some of them have to have the paper glued, which is why I have glue sticks. I have the threads I'm using to match. And then I have some of them, the pieces are done. I need to sew them into a block. This is a huge quilt. I'm not sure if I'll ever finish it, but I do have this to work on when I'm on the road, and the matching threads. And that is project number 2. Project number 3 is if I'm somewhere and I don't want to think and I don't want to do anything hard. I found that at Joann's. It's a little monster pillow, and I just, it's silly. I will probably make it and maybe use it as a pin cushion or something. So, next time you're at Joann's and you see these really, really cute kits, it's a fun thing to throw in here as a low stress project. It's for ages 6 and up. I think I can manage it. So that one is in here as well. And then I have another project here. I don't even remember what this is a flower. It's supposed to be a long pin cushion when you're done. And I've got everything basted on. I just have to blanket stitch it in place. This is a nice easy one on the plane when I don't have a lot of space. I could put this in that bag. I could put this in this bag and just work on it on the plane and then transfer it back over here when I'm done. Because I don't have to worry about notions from bag to bag, it's very, very nice. So there's that one. And then I have a whole empty compartment, which is where I think this project was living back here before I moved it over there. And that is my long haul hand sewing bag on the road. All right, so that is how I pack all of my stuff. I have found that if you plan ahead and you organize these bags on a weekend when you're not getting ready to go on a trip and you don't have stress about packing, you're going to be much more motivated to take something with you on the road. And if you have the time and you enjoy working on the road, why not be ready to go? So if my friends called and said, hey, do you want to come up to the cabin for the weekend? I could just throw this in my bag and I'm done. I don't even have to think about packing it. It is packed. And that is why I like to use these travel bags on the go. And again, Yazzii bags, they did send us this bag here. And I purchased this one. I want to thank them for sending the bag to share with you guys, but they are, my opinion is my opinion, and this isn't from Yazzii. I really was already a customer and really liked these bags because, as you can see, they're really easy to organize. So with all of that said, are you inspired to go set up a hand sewing bag for on the go? And did I miss anything? Is there any tools in here that you would not take or would add to this? Because I am always trying to make sure I'm ready for whatever life throws at me. And now I feel like I am, at least in this department. So I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.